There you go, you can hear it. So today we're going to be talking about cholesterol, and the reason being that having high cholesterol can increase your risk of heart and circulatory diseases. These are things like heart attack, stroke, and vascular dementia. So today we are really lucky to be able to learn about what is actually cholesterol, why is high cholesterol bad for us, and what are ways that we can reduce our cholesterol levels. So we're joined by Julija Plavska, and Julija has 7 years experience as a nutritionist. She's got a Bachelor of Science in Nutrition and Health, and she's been working as a diabetes educator for different NHS trusts and private companies. And last year, Julija finished another Bachelor of Science in Dietetics, and she joined the Croydon University Hospital. So welcome, Julija, and please go ahead and tell us everything we need to know, basically. We just can't hear you at the moment, Julija. I think you just need to unmute.
Oh, hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you very much for inviting me to this lovely coffee morning. Thank you very much, Lizzie, for the lovely exercise. I wake up immediately. Yes, and sorry, Lizzie, just to let you know that I need to run away around 10:45, so that will be the time. Yeah? Okay, so today we're going to talk about the cholesterol, health, and diet. And what we're going to talk about today, so today's plans is to talk what is the cholesterol, why do we need cholesterol, why should we lower our cholesterol, and the risk factors which are associated with the high cholesterol level in people. And then we're going to brush it off about the cholesterol and diet, so what we can do regarding the diet. So probably you already know some things about the cholesterol, and hopefully today you will find out something new. So what is the cholesterol and why we need it? Cholesterol is a fatty substance known as lipids, and it's quite essential for our body function. Cholesterol usually produced by the liver, and it's 80% produced by the liver, and around 20% we receive from the food. So some of the cholesterols come from the food we eat, and the blood carries cholesterol packed in that like little lipids. So it's like little, like let's say bubbles covered by protein, because it's quite fatty substance. It can't travel in the blood without protection. And the cholesterol have quite important for and essential for the body function. And what it does, it's a component of the cell of membrane and all our body cells, and we have around trillions of body cells which will need to be function, and it's cholesterol cover those membrane of the body cells. It's also help our body with vitamin D production, and it synthesizes steroid hormones such as progesterone and estrogen, and it's used to make bile to help us. The bile usually help us to digest the fat, fat, and it's quite important for the brain and nervous system function, because we have cholesterol also help us with the brain. So as you can see, it's important and essential part of our body, and we need cholesterol for many functions. So which type of the cholesterol we have? We have two main types of cholesterol, and one of them calls HDL, and it's high density lipoproteins. And this cholesterol usually work as cleaning the main cholesterol from the body. So what it does, you can see here that HDL cholesterol come to the arteries, and it's cleaning excess of the cholesterol and taking back to the liver for recycling. So it's quite good type of the cholesterol. And then we have another type of the cholesterol, it's LDL, low density lipoproteins. And this cholesterol take cholesterol from the liver cells around the body, and it looks like a bad cholesterol. Actually, it's just transfer the cholesterol around our body. So if we talk about the type of fats in the body, we have 3 different types of fats. So we have high density lipoproteins, like I mentioned before, HDL cholesterol. And you can see this like smiley face here, which means happy. You know, it's easy to remember about HDL cholesterol, H for happy. So if you will see in your blood results HDL, and you will remember the H, it stays for happy. So this cholesterol, we call road swipers. So like I said, it's come to your arteries, it's clean excess of the cholesterol and taking back for recycling and take away from the liver. And usually this type of cholesterol is very good cholesterol, and it should be around 1 millimoles per liter in men, in more than 1.2 millimoles per liter. This is how they measure in women. So this is how we measure the cholesterol. And this is when you see your blood results. If you have more than 1 millimole in men and more than 1.2 millimoles per liter in women, that means you have good amount of the protective cholesterol. LDL cholesterol, it has 2 functions. So it's also distribute the cholesterol around the body, but too high levels of this cholesterol can increase the risk of the formation of the plaque in the arteries and disease such as heart disease, cardiovascular disease, and stroke. So the recommendations for this type of cholesterol, it should be less than 3 millimoles per liter if you would see in your blood results. And the third type of the fats in the body, so we call this lipids in the body, it's called triglycerides. So triglycerides is the type of the fat which one we can find in the blood. And usually if we have excess of the fat in our body, it stores around our waist area. Yeah, so this is actually the type which one we store, it's called triglycerides. So when we have high levels of triglycerides, they can raise and increase the risk of cardiovascular disease. And usually how we get this type of fat, if we have excess of the sugar, added sugar from the food, especially refined carbohydrates, and you know that we can find refined carbohydrates, it's like in biscuits and cakes and sweets. And when we have trans fats, and all these food are actually quite high, can be in the trans fats. So alcohol intake in excess can also increase this type of the fat. And excess of the total energy or calories we have from the food and being overweight or obese, this is also risk factor to have high level or this type of fat. And usually the recommendations is less than 1.7 till 2.3, but not more than 2.3 is recommended to have this type of fat. So what is the risk factors of having too much of the LDL cholesterol and triglycerides? So the main things is atherosclerosis. I don't know if you heard about it before, but it means that the fatty material, which one calls atheroma or plaque, they build up in the inner lining of your arteries and narrowing your arteries. And you can see here in the picture quite well. So for example, when we're young, when we're like 20 years old, we have very nice arteries, like normal cut. You can see a section of the arteries here on the picture from the right-hand side. And you can see that arteries are clean and blood circulation is fine. And then over the time, it depends on the different things which we're going to talk about today. We start to, you can see that the artery get kind of tear off, yeah, and it starts to build the cholesterol, fatty material, and it's building until the arteries become narrowed. And when they narrowed, what happened? The blood cannot circulate properly. So if blood cannot circulate properly and blood flow reduced to the different part of the body, then we can have complications. So the risk of having high cholesterol level, it's of course a different type of disease. So you can see here a heart, and you can see that cholesterol plaque are kind of narrowing the arteries which one supply to the heart oxygen and nutrients. And this is caused the heart attack. And the first sign of the heart attack is angina. So angina is when we are feeling tightness in the chest and pain in the chest. So it's like kind of telling us that our heart muscle doesn't have enough blood for the functioning. Another thing is a stroke. It's the blood flow, which one it goes to our brain. It's reduced because of the fatty materials built in our arteries. And vascular dementia is another type of complication. So when people have stroke, sometimes they have also vascular dementia. So this is all quite serious complications of the having high cholesterol. And what can cause high cholesterol? So eating food which is high in saturated and trans fats, and we will talk about it, so where we can find saturated fats and where we can find trans fats from our diet. Not being enough physically active. So when, for example, we are spending too much time lying or sitting or not moving enough, and in our lifestyle, it's quite common because especially now during coronavirus, people stop to do things like going out, socialize, going for a walk. A lot of people start to work from home. And this is not helping to increase physical activity. Smoking is another risk factor. When we're smoking, we are damaging the inner lining of the arteries. So it gets inflamed and it's easy for the cholesterol to stick in those arteries. And another type of the causing high cholesterol is genetic predisposition. It's called Familial Hypercholesterolemia. And this is a special kind of disease when you definitely need some extra medication to reduce your level of the cholesterol, not only with the diet. So when we're talking about the weight is quite important for actually to manage the cholesterol, because what happened, what is the risk factors? As you can see in this picture, our body composition, we can have different body composition. We can have like pear shape and apple shape. And which type of the body composition do you think more dangerous for people? What do you think?
Apple shape.
Apple shape. And why is that? What do you think?
Because of the extra inches around the waist. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you very much for sharing that with us, because apple shape is when we store the fat around our organs. It's like liver and our pancreas, and we're building there, and it's quite important to reduce this type of fat. And when we're talking about the overweight and obesity, it's quite important to look at two factors. First one is our waist measurement. So what is our waist? And the recommendations are that if people have in men low than if they have around 37 inches around their waist, they have low risk. And if they have from 37 to 40 inches, it's higher risk. And if they have over 40 inches, it's very high risk. And in women is 31.5 inches low risk, 31.5 to till 34.6, it's high risk. And then over that, it's very high risk. What do you think that means? Low risk, medium risk, and high risk. What we are talking about here? Does anybody have a idea about that?
More of a chance of getting diabetes if you've got a bigger waist.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And it's not only diabetes, it's diabetes and it's also cardiovascular disease. Yes, so actually it's high risk to get cardiovascular disease and high cholesterol the more we have fat around our body. Can you see that there is a special kind of window for the men of African, Caribbean, South Asian, Chinese, and Japanese origin? And the threshold for the to measure waist circumference, it's low, should be lower than 35.4 inches. If it will be more than that, it's very high risk to have cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes. And this is something to do with the genetic, genetic predisposition of the body shape. So some origin, they're storing by genetically a bit more fat in this area. So that's why it's a bit lower threshold for them. Another measurement is your BMI, your body mass index, and probably you heard about this before. So this is how your weight distributed according to your height. And there is very easy how you can check that. You can check somewhere if you Google it or online, or you can find a BMI chart. And you just find your height and you find your weight, and then you like cross putting two lines together, and then you can see the BMI, and then you can see is it overweight, obese, or healthy weight, or underweight. And healthy BMI is usually from 18.5 till 24.9, and then from 30 till 35 is obese, and then it's goes extremely obese. So when you look at this, for example, how you can check, you can pick it up like your height, it's 5.5, and then your weight, it's for example 150, and then you put this together and you can see that it's yellow lined, it's 25 BMI. Okay. If you have any questions how to check your BMI, you can ask me later. I will explain a bit more about that. So what we can do to reduce our cholesterol, and what about the diet and cholesterol? So it's quite important to understand that all type of fat which one we are eating is different. So we have all different types of fat from our food. And one of them is trans fat. So trans fat you can find, it's actually kind of artificial fat, and it's made by hardening oils and hydrogenating them and using them for different types of food. And usually you can find this in pastries and donuts and cakes and biscuits and deep fried takeaways. You can find this in samosas, pakoras. So a lot of food has trans fat. And I specifically put this slide like, traffic light. So trans fat, it's red color. So it means that it's quite dangerous for our body. And what it does is increase our LDL cholesterol, it's increase our triglycerides, it's increase insulin resistance, and it's increase waist circumference. So they can have significant risk factor for the cardiovascular disease. Another type of fat is saturated fat. And this type of fat, it's hard in the room temperature. So you probably notice this when you look at the butter, coconut oil. Some of the full fat dairy have saturated fat. It can be found in lard, in palm oil, and fat from meat. So what this fat does, this fat increases the total cholesterol level, increase LDL, so low density lipoproteins, which one we find out are, we call this like a bad cholesterol. And its research suggests that it can be harmful, and actually what we need to do, we need to reduce the saturated fat we eat. How we're going to do that, we will talk about it later. Another type of fat is called polyunsaturated fat or omega-6, and we can find this fat in margarines, oil, sunflower oil, sesame oil, soya oil. We can find a different type of nuts and seeds. And you can see it's green color, so it's healthy type of fats. And it's recommended by research, and that we should probably swap the polyunsaturated fat for the saturated fat. And another type of fat is called omega-3, and you probably heard about this type of fat. It's a very, very good type of fat, and we can find it in oily fish and fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, pilchards, rapeseed oil, flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts, and dark green vegetables. Some eggs also have omega-3. Probably you can see on the packages of the egg it says source of omega-3. And this type of fat is very, very beneficial. It's work like anti-inflammatory, and it's reduced risk of the atherosclerosis, reduce triglycerides in our body, and risk of arrhythmias, and it even can help with the cognitive function. So it's very, very good type of fat. Monounsaturated fat, also quite good type of fat, and we can find this in avocado, nuts, olive oil, and rapeseed oil. Okay, so I explained to you here how we can, what about LDL and HDL? So some of those fats can implement of the increasing LDL, and some of the fats can increase HDL. And HDL can be increased by omega-3. So saturated fats, not all the same. They can be different, and they found that myristic acid found in the butter fat and palmitic acid found in palm oil can increase risk of the cardiovascular disease. And palm oil you can find in a lot of products from the shop. So when you're buying biscuits or cakes, it's source of the palm oil always. However, stearic acid found in the dairy products, such as beef, dark chocolate, olive oil, is not thought to increase cholesterol or influence of the cardiovascular disease risk. So it's quite important to understand that, for example, if we talk about dairy products such as cheese and yogurt, because they're fermented and they also have quite high amount of you can find calcium there. It's still part of the healthy diet, and it's not, according to the last research, it's not increasing too much of your cholesterol, because it's also fermented products. What about the dietary cholesterol? So dietary cholesterol, they usually, we can find this in shellfish, in crab meat, and eggs, and liver, and they're quite low in saturated fat.
Do some mashed potatoes.
Sorry. Yes, somebody said rapeseed oil listed in two categories, omega-3 and monounsaturated. Yes, because it's have both. It's have monounsaturated fat and polyunsaturated fat. I will come back to that later. So dietary cholesterol, they found it used to be like the idea was about the dietary cholesterol that it can increase the cholesterol level, but actually it's not like that. And you don't need to be afraid of eating 1 egg per day. And it's not increasing your cholesterol level because it's completely different. It's dietary cholesterol. But people who have familial hypercholesterolemia, they have to be aware of the dietary cholesterol and probably have around 3-4 eggs per week. But again, it's only if you have this condition. Otherwise, you don't need to restrict yourself. So how we can make a swap? There is some ideas when we can swap butter, ghee, lard, goose fat for olive, rapeseed oil spreads made from this. Fatty meats and processed meat, we can swap for the lean meat, chicken, have free meat-free days, try a dish based on beans and pulses, corn, tofu, nuts or soy meat alternatives, cream and pastry-based desserts, we can actually exchange for the fresh baked or poached fruit for people who have sweet tooth, and custard made from the low-fat milk, fruit crumbles made with the unsaturated spreads, cake biscuits which are sweets filled or coated, we can swap from the plain buns, such as currant or hot cross bun, scones and semi-sweet biscuits, and coconut fresh dried, and this we can swap from for the dried fruit and nuts. Another things like kormas, cheese, cream-based pasta dishes, or extra cheese or meat top pizzas, sandwiches, and cheese fillings, we can swap for the tomato and vegetable-based curries and pasta. We can use thin crust for pizzas and vegetable toppings, vegetable tomato-based soups and sauces. So roasting or frying with butter, lard, other animal fats or coconut oil, we can swap this for the small amount of the vegetable oil, or try other cooking methods. For example, making casseroles, we can grill, we can boil, we can steam or roast our food. Milk chocolates, toffee, fudge, crisps, and fried salty snacks, we can swap for the dark chocolate, nut seeds, popcorn, lower fat crisps, or baked savory snacks. Creamy salad dressings, such as Caesar dressings and mayonnaise, we can swap for the for the salad dressings made with the olive oil, rapeseed oil, or low-fat mayonnaise. It's also quite important when you go to the shop, look at the food labels. So when you look at the food labels, there is information, and it's usually showed you what are the amount of the fat and saturated fat for the 100 grams of or 100 mils of the product. And the healthy choice is if you have total fat less than 3 grams and saturated less than 1.5 grams. And the high fat content in the food and the 100 grams of 100 mils of the food, if you have more than 17.5 grams or more than 5 grams per 100 grams of product. So there is some just some ideas. Sometimes healthy foods such as oily fish and nuts or nut butter, they can have red numbers here. So you can see that, for example, here is fat 13 grams per 100 grams of product in salmon. But salmon, it contains actually omega-3, which one is quite beneficial for our body. So just have this mindful approach. So nuts and some oily fish can be high in fat, but it's part of our diet. It is good type of fat. In the contrary, things like digestive biscuit, you can see sausages here, they have enormous amount of fat. So the total fat per 100 grams of sausage is 25 grams, and you can see that it's quite high, and saturated 9.1. The same for the digestive biscuits. You can see that it's quite high in fat and saturated fat. So all this food still can be part of our diet, but probably in moderation. Plant stanols and sterols. Probably a lot of you heard about it. This is this type of food which one have stanols and sterols. They can reduce the cholesterol level. And plant stanols and sterols, they found naturally in plant-based food and vegetable oils, cereals, seeds, bread, fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts. And they usually added to the fat-based spreads or little milky drinks and yogurts. And it's beneficial if we eating around 2 grams, so between 1.5 to 3 grams of plant stanols and sterols, and this can lower your LDL, low density lipoprotein cholesterol by around from 7 to 12% if you're eating regularly as part of healthy diet. And where you can find this, so 3 servings of 2 tablespoons of fat spread or 1 glass of milk, or 1 a day, 1 yogurt and 1 fortified yogurt mini drinks. And there is, I just put some pictures of the some products which one have plant stanols and sterols as well. Another thing which can reduce your cholesterol is high fiber food. And specifically, so I don't know if you know what is the fiber, but fiber is part of the carbohydrate and it's found in the plant and the plant-based food, and especially soluble fiber, which one we can find in oats, in oat bran, lentil beans, flax seeds, and also fruits and vegetables. They're quite beneficial because what they do, they form the sticky gel and they absorb the fat and don't allow the fat to go to the arteries and make the damage. So there was research done and they found out if we are eating from 5 till 17.5 grams of fiber, of the soluble fiber per day, and I don't know if you can imagine, probably the 40 grams of oats, it's around 3 grams of fiber. Yeah. So if we're eating from 5 till 17.5, then we can reduce our cholesterol level from 4 till 17%. So it's quite good approach of including high fiber food in your diet. And you can do that by aiming for 5 portions of fruit and vegetables per day. Switch to whole grain varieties, so have cereals, pasta, and rice, and choose food such as lentils, beans, like I said, flax seeds. You can sprinkle in yogurt or any other dishes, and of course oats. Oats are quite good food for lowering the cholesterol. So overall, I just want to pass this message. I quite like if you change nothing, nothing will change. And it's only us who can make this happen, who can change the lifestyle, who can change the diet. And just the overall message, it's replacing unhealthy fats, trans and saturated with healthy ones, monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, stopping smoking, being more active, increase dietary fiber by eating more whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and legumes, choose lean meats, lower fat food products, include more omega-3 foods such as fish, oily fish, nuts, and seeds, and sometimes do the meat-free day and include plant-based proteins such as soybeans and lentils more often.
Brilliant. Thank you,
So,
Julia.
Thank you very much. I don't know if I covered everything, but
No, you definitely covered a lot. Like, I learned a huge amount. I didn't realize there was such a difference between sort of healthy and unhealthy cholesterol. I just saw it as one thing. So that definitely really helped me. Thank you. So there's been a couple of questions in the chat, and also just to let everyone know, you are able to unmute yourselves now. So if you do want to verbalize a question, that's absolutely fine. Just call out. So one of the questions that I got sent to me on the chat from Nicole was, does the plant stanol also work for genetic cholesterol?
no, I don't think so. I don't think so that it's I think for genetic cholesterol, it's important to, of course, I mean, with the genetic cholesterol, you need to take medications, that for sure. But I think you still can use these things like, you can use the plant stanols, yes, and you can use, of course, the, like I said, watching your dietary cholesterol. So for example, if for the people who doesn't have this disease, they can eat normally eggs, you know, 1 egg per day, and don't be afraid that this will increase their cholesterol, because dietary cholesterol, it's very small amount, it wouldn't increase. But people with familial condition of the genetic disease, they still need to look at that they wouldn't be exceeding about 200 to 300 grams of dietary cholesterol. So I think plant-based also it's a good way to try to reduce it.
Brilliant. Also, you can, if you just stop sharing your screen as well, we can see your face even bigger, which would be great.
Okay, sorry.
Don't be sorry. No. It's just so that we,
yeah,
you know,
I've got
see who's giving us the information. There is a question from Jay. Jay, would you like to unmute and ask, or do you want me to? Oh, you've unmuted. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask whether the 1 day of capsule fish oil helps the intake of the oils that you mentioned.
Well, you're talking about the omega-3 oils, yes. You know, as a dietitian, I intend to say that the best type of omega-3 is from the food, so from the oily fish and from the, like I said, flax seeds. Walnuts have omega-3 as well, and it's good to include this in your diet. If for any reasons you're not eating oily fish, then probably you can take the supplements, yes.
Thanks.
Lovely.
I just don't like salmon or pilchards and things like that, so I do eat white fish a lot. But to supplement the fish oil, I take that as a supplement every day.
Okay, that's good.
And Jay was just wondering, is it possible for us to have the slide 15 of your presentation so that people can print it and stick it on your fridge?
It's 15 and 16 I should have typed, sorry, my mistake.
Oh, okay.
15, 16, okay. I will mark. I just want to tell you what I will do. Lizzie, I will send you a few fact sheets, which one I think it's very important for people to have. So I will send you cholesterol fact sheet, stanols and sterols fact sheet from BDA, British Dietetics Association, that people will remind themselves about that. Fiber fact sheet, and I will try to find food labels as well. Yeah,
that's brilliant. Thank you.
An additional website, which one you can use if you want to find anything about the cholesterol and research it's all the time going. It's Heart UK, quite good website. It's in the details, everything about cholesterol, and British Heart Foundation as well.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. You've got quite a few comments as well, just people saying thank you, very informative, etc. as well. So does anyone else have some questions? I know that Millie, you wanted to ask something, so if you just unmute, you can go ahead.
Hello. Yes, I wanted to find out about statins because I was prescribed statins previously, and I had horrible side effects, and I got off them. But my doctor keeps wanting me to put me back on statins, and I said I was going to try and deal with it through diet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So regarding the statin, if medical team or doctors prescribe you with the statin, that means they have reason to do so. So it's probably to avoid something which one they don't want you to happen. So if they can see that it's quite high risk and you have high levels, they prescribe statin. I heard a lot about the statin side effects. So there is a few ways. Probably they can offer you different type of statins maybe to try, because statins also have different type. So maybe from another type of statin you wouldn't have side effects. From the diet, if you will start to make changes with the diet, it can go ahead together with the statin. And then if you will achieve lower and you would try to ask to reduce your statin or get off the statin, you should discuss this with the medical team, with your GP, with your doctor. It's quite important to have this good relationship with the GP and discuss the side effects and what do you think about that.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Welcome.
Brilliant, thank you. And the chats come directly to me, but it was in relation to what Millie was just asking. If you're off mute, then you can ask your question about the statins and fenofibrate. I think you're off mute anyway. Yeah, there you go.
Hi, it's Mohammed here. Yeah, I've been, I have a reaction to statins and have been using an alternative fenofibrate for the last 15 years. However, I had a heart attack, a moderate heart attack and open heart surgery in July. I need a more effective alternative to statins or something like that. What are my options? You know, the alternative didn't work. I mean, fenofibrate, although it kept my cholesterol to within the range, right? There was a buildup of plaque. You know, I need to go on something stronger, more effective than the alternative. What are my options?
You know, first, I'm not a doctor. I'm a dietitian, and I can only tell you the options from the lifestyle changes. And the option from the lifestyle changes is definitely more exercises. It's definitely diet. So it's look at your diet. It's try to avoid highly processed food, high in saturated and trans fat, takeaways. Try to have balanced meals and include lean meat, fish, oily fish, eggs, food high in fiber, and food high in fiber also keep you feel full. So it's increased satiety. So even eating small type of fiber, and I will send you the fact sheet about the fiber in the detail, what is that, and in which food
I follow all of that. One of the things that seem to be happening is whenever I have my cholesterol check, right? The surgery, they're looking at the HDL, but what the surgeons were telling me is that the LDL part of it, you know, doesn't seem to be monitored, you know, at the GP surgery, and that's the bit that needs to be flagged up, you know, to see if it's within the range.
Yes.
Because I was told over the years that my cholesterol is okay, it's at 6, you know, but the cardio guys were saying that should have been monitoring the LDL part of it.
Yeah, the total cholesterol is recommended level, it's lower than 5 millimoles per liter. And like I said, it can be done only by your GP about the medications. I can't tell you about that. But what you can do, you can try with the diet as well.
Yeah. I have an appointment with the lipids clinic in April, so I'll hear what you have to say.
That's Great. Good to hear that you've got the appointment coming up. So good modelling for everyone else. Well done. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then there was a question very specific to do with diet, saying that they're a Hindu vegetarian, which means no meat, fish or eggs. So they were wondering, how do they get more protein in their diet?
More protein in the diet for the vegetarian is probably you can find in tofu, and you can find in bean and pulses, nuts and seeds. So this type of the protein, and it's also mycoprotein. Corn you can find. So it's a lot of
Is that
products.
corn?
Yeah,
corn,
corn.
the brand.
Yeah, corn the brand. Yeah.
Okay, lovely. And do you want to go ahead, Jay? I saw that you've got a good question there as well.
No, I just wanted to know if you mentioned dementia. Is that strongly related to cholesterol with the blood flow into your brain?
Yes, because what happened, vascular dementia, if your arteries in the brain, they get clogged with the cholesterol and the blood flow is restricted. Yeah, so it's related to that as well. Like I said, it's very good way to have to increase your good cholesterol. It's oily fish and omega-3.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, you know, it's such important to understand the whole concept that it's the diet and physical activity. They play enormous role.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for example, you know, when we stop to move, we stop to live, isn't it? So we have to move all the time. That's why I think the way how Lizzie handled this coffee morning, starting with the little bit of activity, it's quite important. And this is what we should do. And this is what we should address. Yeah. Not lying and sitting, but after this coffee morning, stood up and go for the nice walk to the park. And then come back and have a nice lunch with the oily fish and some fiber, yeah, food and fiber, such as, like I said, beans, lentils, fruits, vegetables. Make your diet more variety, yeah, and less of the things like saturated fat and trans fat in your diet.
Can I just say something? This is nothing to do with a question. Your last slide, but one, which said, make it happen.
Yes.
Okay. I'm a great believer in making things happen. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
And to me, the results count more than anything when you make things happen. So my advice to everybody would be that, as you said, Julija, I hope I pronounced it correctly, the change to your diet in the way you live, things like with having a routine exercise regime or things like that, those are the things you can make it happen. That's down to you, really, isn't it? And if you do it, you probably see the results. And my answer to you, if you don't do it, you'll never know what the result might be.
Of course, I 100% agree with that, Jay. Thank you very much. That's a brilliant saying. Yeah. You know, I've been doing diabetes education for over 7 years, and I have a lot of groups, and we talk about type 2 diabetes. And as you know, it's quite every 2 minutes somebody gets diagnosed with type 2 diabetes with different diabetes in UK, especially type 2. And this is lifestyle disease. So what I want to say that I saw so many participants who put their diabetes on remission by doing simple thing. So and this is reduce the cholesterol level, reduce the blood glucose level, and this was simply by losing weight, doing more physical activities, and changing the diet. Yeah. So I believe and I know that it can happen.
Good.
Brilliant. Thank you. That's fantastic. So I know that I am very aware, Julia, that you do need to go soon. So I'm trying to wrap it up. So what I'll do is, Marcia, you just got in there quick to get the last question. So she was just wondering, because it's quite specific, she's got an underactive thyroid, she eats lots of vegetables and fruits, goes for walks daily and exercise, but still can't lose weight. She does eat sweet things sometimes when she feels like she needs it, and she's just saying, what am I doing wrong? But that's very specific.
Okay. Well, Arcia, so underactive thyroid, eats lots of vegetable, go for walks daily, exercise still. Okay, sometimes what I'm doing wrong, I don't know. I don't know what are you doing wrong, Marcia. It looks everything very good to me, what you're doing, and well done for eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, for doing physical activity. I don't know, you know, with the women, it's also very difficult, because sometimes when we go to the menopause, yeah, and with the age, it's also, we can store more fat around this area. So what it would be helping, probably doing more physical activity. So if you're doing walking, maybe try to do some exercises at home, work on your muscles around your stomach area, and try to include more fiber food, fiber sources of the food. I will send them again the dietary sheet and like I said, oats are quite a good type of food, which one is reducing our cholesterol. So oat porridge have every morning, but please don't buy this porridge. You know, they selling like little pockets with a lot of sugar inside. So it's have to be rolled oats. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Sorry, Marcia. If I didn't answer to your question, I don't know, maybe you need then, if you think that it's quite, you're struggling with this, maybe you need to make appointment with a dietitian and kind of look at the properly at everything.
Which leads me into a question that I thought would sort of finish quite well. If someone does want to see a dietitian in Croydon, how can they do that?
There is a specific referral process, so you have to go to your GP and they have to see that why do you need to see a dietitian, what is the problem with this. If it's weight management, we have fantastic management groups in Croydon, so we do weight management also talks. And there is also, I think, 12 weeks program in Croydon regarding the weight management. And then GP will decide how to refer you to the dietitians, and then dietitians will pick this up, and then probably now it's quite long waiting time, unfortunately. Yeah, but
no, that is really helpful, because sometimes you just think, oh yeah, I want more advice, but where do I go first? So just knowing, okay, get the GP booked in, that's like a nice simple first step. So that's really good. I was going to say, yes, you can be free, Julia, but this question I wanted to include because it is relevant. Obviously, as the Asian Resource Centre, this question is very relevant. It was just saying specifically, what is the effect of rice on cholesterol?
Oh, okay. Right, so what can I say? Rice doesn't have any effect on the cholesterol, but we've got, don't forget, triglycerides. And triglycerides, if we increase, if we're having too much of the refined carbohydrates. So for example, if it will be processed, like, you know, we've got different type of rice. So whole grain rice, which one is high in fiber. Yeah, and this is why I said, and white rice, we have different type of rice, paella rice. So important the portion size. So what if we are eating big portion sizes quite often of the rice, this can increase of the fat stored around our waistline. Yeah, so it's kind of not directly connected to the cholesterol, but it's connected to the different type of fat, triglycerides, which one we store around our area if we are exceeding of the having too much rice.
Okay. Thank you. So I think you've got loads of comments in the chat saying very informative, thank you, very interesting. So I think it's safe to say You've answered a lot of questions, given us a lot of food for thought. So on behalf of everyone, thank you very much, Julija. We really, really, really do appreciate it. A reminder to everyone that this is recorded. So if you have any friends or family who are struggling with cholesterol, have questions around it, they can, of course, go to our YouTube channel and see this video. Just bear in mind that it will take us maybe 1 or 2 days just to upload it to the YouTube channel. So thank you, Julija. And before you all go, I'm just going to share with you all of our other events that are coming up. You know, we've always got loads going on. So let me just get my screen up so you can see.
Thank you, Julija. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for your information.
Thank you.
Oh,
Brilliant. So once I've gone through like our little events, don't forget, please stay, because you might win the mini coffee hamper. So we obviously hope that you can win that. So just a reminder that we do have our food club, which is once a week. It's just £3 and you get basically huge bag of fresh and nutritious food. All you have to do is just come and collect it from the hub, which is the Broad Green hub on Keeley Road behind Central Shopping Centre. And to register, you can get in contact with probably any of us, but quickest way is if you get in contact with Naeem. You can see his email here at the bottom of the screen, but also if you called ARCC or went on our website, of course, we would help you as well. And every Tuesday, so you can link this in with the food club if you wanted, we do also have something called the Tuesday Talk, which is 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. and it's very casual and social, and it's literally just a chance to just catch up with your friends, see how everyone's doing. We provide light refreshments like tea and coffee and biscuits. You do not need to book, you literally just turn up, and it's at the same place as the food hub. It's just at the Broad Green hub, which if you know where Central Shopping Centre is, it's behind there. So it's very central Croydon, easy to get to via bus or tram. And then this ties in nicely. Julija was saying, you know, make sure you're getting fit and strong, especially around the stomach core area. So if you want to see more of my face, you can come join me for free Pilates classes on Fridays. I know that some of you already joined me. And that's 11 to 12 p.m. I am doing that face-to-face and on Zoom. So no matter where you are in Croydon, you can log in. Sorry, Elsie?
Finished. Sorry, I thought the Zoom and as Fridays finish in the day. Instead of coming to the hub, I didn't know that. Sorry.
No. So I'm at the hub and you can join me there if you want. But I'm also got my laptop videoing me doing it on Zoom at the same time. So it's literally doing both at the same time. So you can choose. You can come see me or you can see me on Zoom.
Okay.
So
Thank
good
you very
question.
much.
No worries. Thanks, Elsie.
I've got a question as well.
Yes,
Nicole
Nicole.
here. I'm working, so all the dates and everything you have, it's not accessible to me. Is there anything like before 9 a.m. or after 5, preferably 5:30 p.m., you know, with regarding to movement and help?
Absolutely. So that's a really good question. So if I move on to this program here, the Expert Patients program, this is specifically around health, or specifically around long-term condition health. So diabetes, high blood pressure, but it also can be anxiety, depression, can be if you were looking more at like weight loss or just healthy lifestyle. And this course is 6 weeks and it's completely free. And it's one session each week for 6 weeks. And because the course changes all the time, so once we finish the course, we set up a new one. And so there's always different times available. For example, we have one this evening. I think that starts at 5:15. But coming up, we have courses. I think we've got a few more on the evenings. I think we've got one on the weekend as well. So what I would recommend for this is, because it's different times, different days, different locations all the time, because we're trying to get to everyone in Croydon. If you see on this poster, it's just got my email and my phone number. I'll put that in the chat. And basically, if you just email me, I'll just send you the upcoming course dates for it every time. And one of them will suit you, because that's the whole point, is we're trying to offer different times, different days all the time. So let me just put my email in the chat for you.
Fantastic, thank you.
No problem. No, it was a good question. Because yeah, if you're working 9 to 5, you know, you can't join at 11 a.m. So that's fair enough. And what did I skip before sharing with you guys? I'm pretty sure I had to share one other thing. Let me just go through and have a little look-see. Oh yeah, just to let you guys know that also on Tuesdays, we have dance therapy. So let me just bring that up for you so that you can have a look at that as well. So on the dance therapy, this one is online. So you just can do it at home. So you don't worry if you don't want to get in a car or on a bus. And it's 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And it's super, super fun, this one. And with the food club, you contacted Naeem. So it's the same contact for this one as well. So nice and easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass over to Naeem so that he can pull 3 names out of a hat and we can see who has won our hamper. Here we go. So he's spinning the wheel. Thanks, Naeem.
Thank you, Lizzie. Right. Just going to put it on that side. So right here. Right, let's spin the wheel.
Hey.
I got Bill shot for the first one. Awesome.
Well done. Excellent.
Who is that one? Okay, don't say okay.
Right, next one.
Naeem, you have definitely kept me out of that.
There.
Let's see if you have a favorite.
Sakina.
Oh, well done, Sakina.
Well done, Sakina.
Well done.
Well
Last
done.
spin.
Brilliant.
Oh, well done. Brilliant. So
Much judge.
3 good winners.
Take it off. Yeah, all 3 of them. If you just contact me or call ARCC, I'll just take your address and we will send those over. So thank you.
Yeah, please do make sure that you do contact us because obviously we don't know your address magically. So if you want us to post your prize to you, then please do make sure that we do receive your address. So thank you so much, everyone. Yes, Jay.
Can I just
say, thank you all so much for these sessions. It's really enlightening. It prompts me to start. I did that close. So remember, Lizzie, I still had 2 more days to go, didn't I? 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
I didn't complete them, but you let me know. Thank you all so much for this information. It's very, very, especially this lockdown, it really made my ability different. Thank you.
Okay, can I just
thank you, Elsie.
Can I just say a few things, especially these are the 2 other events that Asian Resource Center has organized. It comes as part of what the chairman is doing through the business forum, because we've started ARCC Business Forum as well, bringing in businesses that would participate with our activities and support us. So the first one I want to talk about is at the end of this month in February, we would be launching what we call ARCC Sporting Memories Club. I'm looking for 10, and pardon me, I don't wish to be offending any women, but this is for the first group is for men only. But if women are interested in sports and they would like me to organize ARCC Sporting Memories Club for women as well, then please put your suggestions forward and I will definitely look into it. The weekly session will be starting in March. It's at Peony Court Care Home, which is just down the road on Lower Ediscombe Road, very close to the Lebanon tramlink station. It's free. It's going to be on Friday from 10:30 till 12:30. There'll be light refreshment, and maybe we can also provide lunch to all the participants. But the membership is only open for 10 delegates, so first come, first serve basis. And the second event is in partnership with Yorkshire Building Society, which is based on just before you start on George Street. So it's opposite Sainsbury's, if you like, in Croydon. Parents and any child that is between the age of 5 and 7 are invited at Royal Bank of, Yorkshire Building Society. The sessions are running on 15th of February, 16th of February, and 17th. So it's midterm holidays. And parents can accompany the child. It's going to be teaching the child about the value of money, the vocabulary that goes with it. Is part of key stage 1 education curriculum in schools. So anybody with parents or grandparents that want to bring their youngsters who is aged between 5 and 7, please let me know as soon as possible. Lizzie, you can put my email up as well. There are 3 sessions every day on 15th, 16th, or the 17th. They start at 10 o'clock. The next one is 12 o'clock, and the one after that is 2 o'clock. So 1 hour session, lots of good things that kids will learn about money. There'll be lots of activities, parents can join in. So again, there's space for about 45 parents or children, and the sessions are limited to 5 children at a time. So again, I'll be putting a flyer up very soon. If you want to register again, come back to me as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thanks, Jay. And everyone, off you go, rock and roll, but make sure you keep moving, of course.
Thank you, Lizzie and Julia.
Bye, darling. Bye.
No
Thank
problem.
you. Have a great day. Bye, all.
Lovely to see you all again.
Bye. Have a great day. Love you all.
Love you. Bye.